Hello, good day everyone. Okay, today we are going to cover lesson 2 on design sketching 101, and this time around we are going to go a little bit deeper on the isometric projection. Okay, just a quick recap of the things to note about isometric projection. Okay, firstly, what we have learned is to be mindful of the vertical lines. Okay, all the vertical lines will remain vertical with respect to the horizontal. And secondly, okay, the other lines will be angled at 30 degrees with respect to the horizontal. Okay, to have greater clarity, what we can see over here, the three vertical lines in this particular cube, okay, will remain vertical with respect to the horizontal, and the other isometric lines maintaining an inclination of 30 degrees with respect to the horizontal. Similarly, you can also see the same concept being applied in this particular isometric projection object. These are some examples of either isometric cubes or almost isometric cubes. Okay. The basic idea here is to show how by manipulating and trying to angle the isometric lines, the non-vertical isometric lines, we can achieve some depth, we can achieve some variation, okay, in terms of how we can showcase our isometric cubes. So over here, we accentuated the depth of each of these cubes by drawing hatching lines on one side. I think at all the same sides, okay, of all these various cubes. We can also extend the concept of isometric projection using cubing and clipping method into slightly more complex shapes, okay, by having two cubes combined together, or even extending it to 3 cubes. Alternatively, we can change the orientation to make it elongated this way, okay, or maybe even a little bit taller this way. This is another example of the application of cubing creating methods and how we accentuate the view of the isometric projection cubes is to apply two concepts. Okay, the first one is to use a background, okay, a plain background with hatching lines, and the other is to use thicker lines. As you can see, the thick lines over here running along the outermost perimeter of the cubes in the isometric projection. The other way that we can accentuate the isometric projection sketches is to actually have some form of a shadow, okay, either totally above ground like this, or maybe just slightly raised, just like this. Okay, before we move on to working on your isometric projection exercises, maybe just a quick recap of some basics on what you might need to be mindful of when you come up with your isometric projection. So usually I would like to encourage students to draw in the horizontal line. So we have the horizontal line over here, and then to draw in the 30 degrees inclined lines. Okay, and then perhaps we can also then subsequently we can draw all the vertical lines. Okay, I will usually encourage students to draw the vertical lines at the same time, paying particular attention to changing or rotating the medium that you are working on. For example, if it's a piece of paper, you just rotate your piece of paper, and then if you are working on a tablet like me, you will probably need to rotate the tablet. Okay, so this is one example, maybe a quick one. So what we have to pay particular attention to is the 30 degrees alignment with respect to the horizontal, and the fact that all these lines, these vertical lines, are perpendicular with respect to the horizontal. So extending this concept into quicker sketches, we can probably work in producing something like that. Okay, or maybe something a little bit more elongated. Okay, or something a little bit smaller like that. So the whole idea is really for you to get used to the idea of this 30 degrees orientation. Now, don't be worried if you can't get all these all your lines to converge, okay, exactly at the point. Okay, more importantly is for you to get your orientation right, the 30 degrees, and I think you should be able to master isometric projection quite fast. Okay, so we're going to our first task, okay, is really to reproduce this short isometric what you call sketches, okay, all of this using the cubing creating method. Okay, what I would like to show maybe perhaps is some examples of some of these how you can reproduce some of these, okay, in your sketching exercises. We'll probably start with the easier ones first. Okay, maybe we can start with figure number 9. Now, figure number 9 is really a figure that is a little bit narrower on this side. Okay, and what you will also notice is this slant line, which is known as a non-isometric line. Now, non-isometric lines are lines that, okay, are not angled either vertical or at an angle of 30 degrees with respect to the horizontal. So the first step is usually that I encourage my students to do is to come up with the basic shape of a cube. So we have this over here. Okay, so this is the basic of the basic shape of a cube, isometric cube. And then what we will probably need to take a look at is I will encourage students to adopt is this idea of a proportion. Okay, so probably what we can take a look at over here is to make some assumptions. So if this is the length of the base, the base of the face, this could probably maybe perhaps will be halfway there. So we can use that to maybe draw in some construction lines. So how about if we just draw some right there? Okay, and over here we might take it that this is about, okay, so if this is a height, this could probably be about maybe 1/3. So this is about 1/3 of the height. So extending to this particular part, we might want to divide it out into 3 parts. So we have this one over here. Okay, so the next step is really to draw in the actual details. So we start off, I'm going to use a thicker line and a thicker blue color line for this, okay, so that you can see clearly what I'm doing. Okay, so this is, okay, and this is a vertical line, this is a horizontal line over here, and this is this way. Okay, the final step is really to join the 2 points, so in order to create the non-isometric line. So we have this one as well as this one. So there you go. So this is our first design sketch of figure number 9. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Okay, this is example number 3. Again, in terms of the size of the cubes, you will probably see that this is a little bit also a little bit elongated. So what you have over here, this length being longer than this particular length over here. Okay, so again, applying the concept of proportion, we will probably want to take a look at how we can apportion some of this length. Okay, I will probably can assume that this maybe is about 2/5, and this is probably about 2/5, and this is about 1/5 over here. And then over here, I would probably like to apportion maybe perhaps half and half. Okay, and this length over here, I'll probably like to apportion half and half. Okay, so let's draw in the basic cube first. So we have this line, a little bit taller, Oops, sorry. Okay, so that is one, and we probably need to do the halfway line here, and then maybe divide it into 5, so we have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you have your this line over here and this line over here, and then the halfway point will be somewhere here and here, and you can just draw your this line. Okay, so and probably another halfway line over here. Okay, and then yeah, okay, come, let's continue to draw in the detail lines using, again I'll be using a thicker blue line. So what we have over here will be this line over here. Oops, sorry, blue. Okay, so this line, then it goes all the way to the end. Okay, and over here and over here. Okay, and what we probably need to do is to draw the vertical lines here, and the vertical lines here, and the vertical lines here. Okay, now notice there were some missing construction lines, but it's okay. I think it's all really about being confident of what you're sketching. Okay, and then filling in the details respect to the lines. Okay, so yeah, okay, so probably it's there, and then like the vertical lines here. So you might not be able to see me doing this, but what I'm currently doing is really rotating my tablet so that I don't need to rotate my body at extreme angles. This will definitely help in terms of coming out with more consistent lines. So probably I want to have something like that, and okay, and lastly we like that. So there you have it. Okay, everyone. Okay, reproduction of figure number 3. Okay, my last example exercise for this design sketching is figure number 11. Okay, again we have the same challenge earlier. Okay, we have these two lines over here, which are your non-isometric lines. Okay, but it's something which is actually doable. Okay, again applying the concept of proportion, what we have over here is probably about a 1/3, and this could probably be maybe another 1/3 perhaps. So this is again 1/3. Okay, so yeah, okay, what else? So this one maybe perhaps this could maybe perhaps be somewhere in the 2/5, so that is maybe the 3/5. Okay, let's move on to draw the construction, to draw the basic cube first. So we have your long cube here, along the long side, the short side, and drawing all the vertical lines. Okay, so what we are going to do is to draw in the 1/3 sections here. So this is your 1/3, and this is your 1/3 over here. So yeah. Now it's fine if your shape looks a little bit different. Okay, as long I think the key idea here is really for you to get used to the idea of using proportion. Okay, so divide this into 4, so you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have your 2/5 here, so you have your 2/5 here and your 3/5 there. And over here we have our 1/3. So 1, 2, in your vertical lines. And then you have your 1/3 here. Your 1, 2. So you have okay. So let's draw in the actual lines. Again, I'm using dark. I'm using a blue colored lines with a slightly thicker thickness. So we have here, and we have here, and we have over here. Draw the vertical lines here, and the lines over here. Okay, we draw these lines over here, these lines here, and moving upwards. This line, we have this line, and we have this line over here, and this line, and then moving on we have this line over here. Oops. This line over here, and the vertical line. And then we have we connect this point to this point, and then we will end off this with drawing in the non-isometric lines. So knowing the 2 points, so we basically try to work out some. Just connect these 2 points. Oops, I missed that spot. Yes. Okay, so this will probably how your design sketch for figure number 11 should look like. So again, it's really about coming out with your basic cube, okay, and then apportioning certain sides and faces, okay, your 1/3, and then your fields and things like that. And for challenges like, for example, like either curved lines or non-isometric lines, you will probably like to consider 2 points, the 2 points that in which the non-isometric lines meet, for you to come out with these non-isometric lines in your sketches. Okay, so a gentle reminder, okay, you will probably need to or try to work out this 12 12 figures for your design sketching exercise for this particular lesson. And especially for those of you who wants to go a little bit deeper, wants to try things a little bit harder, you can probably try these 8 figures over here. I should be able to provide you with the links or the worksheets to this particular sketching exercises later on. Okay, so just to recap today's lesson, what we have over here is really what we have learned so far is in order to come up with good isometric sketches is really to be mindful of 3 things. Okay, first one is to take a look at the idea that vertical lines will remain consistent as vertical. Okay, the other isometric lines will maintain the inclination at 30 degree angles with respect to the horizontals. And last but not least, be very explicit in applying proportion concepts to the basic cubing or creating method in order to work on more details. Okay, so with this I would like to end my lesson for today. Thank you.